Bankstown Community College is proud to be a major sponsor of Bankstown Auburn Community Radio.
Hey, zombie man, gonna put you in the can. Hey, zombie man.
Hi guys, and welcome to Wednesday Night Zombie Viva on 2BACR 100.9 FM. You're here with Steph, Rach, and Bridget.
Hey, Japan! All of us are here today. It's been quite a few weeks.
Yeah, it's been I think 3 weeks since I've been here too for Bridget.
Yep.
And Rachel's been here the whole time, slogging it away.
Soldiering away.
Soldiering on.
It meant that I could get closer to our listeners.
Yeah.
Anyway, tonight we'll be talking about our trip that we took to Japan, which was awesome.
Japan!
We'll be asking it for any awesome trip stories from our listeners as well. In keeping with that Japan trip, we talk about photography and the old version of photography versus the new version. We'll also be talking about returns and refunds a bit later in the show. For those of us who work in retail.
There's definitely two sides to this argument. Those who refund and those who have to deal with the refunds.
Yeah. And we'll be talking about healthy foods and dieting for our last topic tonight. What crazy diets have you heard of? Have you ever been on any crazy diets? Let us know by logging into our Facebook page or giving us a call here. So, yeah.
I'm keeping up to date with the Facebook page and all of your requests on there. This first song is a request for Dave. This is Metallica with Nothing Else Matters on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
And you're back on 2BACR 100.9 FM. You're listening to Steph, Rach, and Bridget.
All three of us.
Before we get into our first topic, which is the Japan trip, Rachel would just like to rant a little bit about how
it's not a rant
to make a podcast.
I just want to explain to everyone that I do have the podcast coming, and I know I've said that every week. Here's the thing. So we record the show, then I edit the show in GarageBand, and I couldn't figure out how to get that track from GarageBand to the people. So then
the people.
We're desperate. Give the people what they want. I'm sure the people are really aching for this.
Yep.
So then I copied all of that into iTunes. Then there were songs as iTunes. I'm like, no, I want them as a podcast in iTunes. Then I figured out how to do that. But I still didn't know how to get that to the people. So
to the people.
The people.
I had this audio track that I couldn't figure out how to get, to the internet, just on Facebook or anything. And
How do
I really
find
felt
the
like
interweb?
It really felt ridiculous that I couldn't do this. Dumbasses do this all the time. I've seen a lot of stuff that I was going to edit some sort of expletive into there, but there's been a lot of poor form videos on YouTube and things. I don't know how other people manage to put their audio up there. Anyway, then I thought, okay, I can just do a YouTube channel. Yeah. Problem solved. Yeah, so I get the clip, I get the picture, I put them together in iMovie, and it'll be fine. So I put the picture in iMovie, I drag across the audio, and it would only go for 4 seconds, and then I figured out how to increase the duration of the picture in iMovie, but I could only set, it only goes up to 10 minutes. And so this thing, I tried Googling this, and most things that I try to Google, the first suggestion will come up, like, oh yeah, that's helpful. Because there's how-to and e-how. They both failed me, though. Because everything would come up with... What?
Sorry, can I just quickly interrupt? Is this how the show went while we were away?
Okay, I am a little insulted that you guys didn't listen.
We couldn't. I wanted to. I really wanted to.
We couldn't.
But we really couldn't.
I'm sure. You tried real hard.
I did try, and I kept telling you guys, Bridget and Karen, who went with us, well, Karen went with us, that's what I meant. Yeah. Anyway, okay. I really want to listen to the show this week, and they're like, well, yeah, we can't really because there's no internet.
Oh, wait, so she was trying harder than you were?
Yeah, I was trying.
Well,
I faced up to the reality of the situation.
No, last week got political. Last week got serious.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, but no.
And you still have no podcast.
I don't know, I was trying to, but everything, all the suggestions that would come up in Google were, how to add a sound clip or a sound effect to a video in iMovie. None of it was a long duration audio track to a still picture.
So
and I'm still waiting.
We still haven't figured out the podcast.
If anyone can tell me how to give our iTunes song to the people, let me know.
To the people.
To the people.
All right. So that was Rachel's little rant about podcasting.
Yeah.
It's
And
no
the failure
secret
of the internet.
that Bridget and I were away for 2 weeks, and that we went to Japan, which is like one of the most awesome places on earth.
Yeah, we went to Japan.
It was so much fun, even though it was raining and
I think I have
humid.
to say you went to
was
Japan.
pretty tiring.
They noticed.
It was pretty tiring. We were up late most nights and up early the next morning.
Very, very, very early.
Running through train stations and trying to figure out train maps and
Trying to find lockers.
yes, where we had left our luggage. It was a pretty crazy trip. We packed a lot of stuff in.
Yes.
So we're going to be asking you guys on Facebook, what was your awesome trip stories? Where have you been that was absolutely awesome, or someplace weird, or, any trips that you've been on?
Yep.
Because we had a pretty good time.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about the Ninja restaurant
Oh, the Ninja restaurant is like the greatest place on earth.
and the prison-themed restaurant where I got handcuffed.
I wanted to get a photo of that because my brother had, the only piece of advice he had given me before we went on this trip was don't get arrested in Japan.
Yep.
And I would have loved a photo with those handcuffs, but,
Yeah.
didn't actually get one. But I was geeking out really hard in the Ninja restaurant. I was so
The restaurant
happy.
was good.
The staff were all dressed up as ninjas and they do their little ninja poses and ninja magic. all the
Ninja
time.
magic.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Were you tempted to ask them, would you beat pirates in a fight on a ship evenly matched?
I would have asked if they had spoken good English. They didn't. Our waiter did. He was okay.
Yeah, he said in a very funny way he apologised for his English. He was actually pretty good.
Yeah, he was one of the better people we spoke to over there.
Yeah.
A lot of them do speak English, like a little bit of English.
You mean that he was one of the people who could speak English better
better,
over
yes.
there? Not that he was one of the better people.
Well, he was
because he could
awesome.
speak
I
English
really
better.
liked our waiter.
Yeah.
He was really what's the word? He was really cute.
Yeah, he was cute.
Not in a, oh my god, he's hot kind of way.
Okay, well
but
that
he
was
was
the look she gave me.
Well, he wasn't bad, but
no, he was anime cute. You know what I mean?
Oh, like anime eyes?
he was funny cute.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
He did this weird blinky thing where he'd scrunch up his
he
entire
blinked
face
a
when
lot.
he blinked.
Yeah.
But he was really awesome. He at one point he's like, "Do you have cameras?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Ninja sword!"
Ninja sword.
It was so cool.
He just pulled it out, and we're like,
Okay, and just to
okay.
narrate for everyone at home, both Bridget and Stephanie both did this weird sword move in perfect unison.
Well, that's what he did. He also did this trick with fire.
Oh yeah, he set our dessert menu on fire.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Got a photo of that too.
Yeah, Karen got a really good one of that actually.
She did, yeah.
Just as an observer, no OH&S laws
Probably not.
in Japan?
They're pretty relaxed.
Actually, we were talking about that when we were in the prison-themed restaurant, which is called the Lockup.
Yeah,
Well,
they
they
would
took us
not be
through-
able to do this in America.
Yeah, you sat in
Because they get
basically.
sued.
You sit in a little cell, and it's pretty dark in there. And then at one point, while you're eating, they'll just turn the lights off, and then flashing lights will start, and there'd be screaming
There's a voiceover.
and gunshots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this voiceover starts. But I'm like, in Australia or America or any Western country, you wouldn't be able to have gunshots in a restaurant without
Also-
someone.
Not
They have
only,
the warning they have warning in English, and underneath that, the long warning is in Japanese.
Yes, and then I think it says something else at the end as well in English. Did it? I've got a picture.
enjoy your meal.
It's.
Well, I
I
guess
don't remember. I think
in
you said
Austra-
that.
I guess in
didn't see
Australia
it.
there'd be OH&S issues, and sort of in America as well. But I think in America that would just be really bad taste.
It'd be a very sensitive issue because
Yeah.
you just can't have gunfire, and they have gunshot sounds. They also
It's not
had.
actual gunfire, is it? It's
No,
just the sound effect.
Just-
You know what? You're sitting in that cell and you think, what the hell is going on out there?
Well, and because we obviously didn't understand Japanese, the voiceover was all in Japanese, so we didn't
Yeah.
know what was going on. We didn't know the whole story. But then at this one point, this guy comes, kicks open our cell door.
Full
and
on.
He's got his mask on, and he just comes straight at us.
And everything white is fluorescent.
Yes, so
And-
Bridget's shirt was glowing, and
Yeah, and then all their hair, probably on purpose, it's white.
yeah.
And there's a photo of me, and I'm cowering in the corner, laughing my head off, and it's got this white wig that's moving, and yeah, it looks really cool.
So, and I, came out of those themed restaurants saying I'm never going to eat in a normal restaurant again. It's only themed restaurants from now on.
Yeah, good luck.
Are there many themed restaurants around Sydney?
Fright night.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah?
only one we could think of right now. That's
Yeah.
in Liverpool.
I'll do that.
I don't know how good it'd be.
I've been to its equivalent in Gold Coast, which is Dracula's.
Was that any good?
I was 12.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But I thought it was cool at the time.
Yeah. Well, I think my mum said she'd been to that Liverpool one, but it's not like a theme restaurant as in like how we went to, which was your little room and stuff
Where
like
they
that.
turn off the
Yeah.
lights
It's more
and
like
people run at
the
you with
stage
gunshots.
kind of-
It's cabaret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it's not the
I'd
Japan
be okay with
stuff.
that too. Dinner and a show.
But there was a haunted house at the one that I went to in Gold Coast.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't remember. There's a haunted house too at the prison one that you go through before you
Oh, yeah.
actually get inside.
And we were kind of confused actually if it was the entrance to the restaurant. Because you kind of just go into this little, like, you go down the stairs and you're like, okay, is this the restaurant? And it kind of has the lock-up just written. There's no, like, signs or anything. It's just, like, written on the wall or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
downstairs though.
And then, like, you go down the stairs and it's all dark and you're like, I think this is the right way. You know, like, opening doors and stuff. And, yeah, it was pretty creepy.
Did you ever think at one point, okay, maybe this isn't the restaurant and that's not a waiter?
No.
It
No.
was very much, once you already knew,
Even when the
clear that
handcuffs
was
came
quite
out,
safe.
no.
Well, before we actually got to people, there was, like, this little model of a guy sitting in a chair that was meant to be scary and stuff. And you're like, oh, all right, this is the way to the
Oh, yeah.
restaurant. So, yeah, it's never actually like, oh my god, are we just in someone's basement? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or those real gunshots.
We'll go to our next lot of songs, then we'll come back. We're talking about a Japan topic.
Yep, we've got a couple of requests coming up. First up, this is Muse with Supremacy, followed by Calvin Harris on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever. Okay, so we're just talking about a Japan trip, but coming home after a trip is really quite depressing.
It is. Especially when you have a new Prime Minister.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was.
We got back to the Gold
Wouldn't
Coast.
have been surprising if you'd listened to my show.
We got back to the Gold Coast on Thursday morning, really early in the morning. We were waiting in line because our flight had been cancelled, so we were just waiting for to be told what happens next. When we get this message from our friend, oh, we have a new Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? She goes, oh yeah, Kevin Rudd is our Prime Minister again. I'm like, really? She's like, oh no, wait, it's not
So
Kevin
you mean
Rudd.
we have an old Prime Minister?
Yeah. She's like, no, wait, it's not Kevin Rudd. It's Wayne Swan. I'm like, what?
What?
Wayne Swan? She's, oh no, wait, no, it's not Wayne Swan. I'm like,
Kevin
so
Rudd.
it's still Julia Gillard? She's like, no, it's Kevin Rudd.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened while we were in Japan. That was surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got back on Thursday and basically, well, I didn't go straight back to work. I went to work on Saturday. But Bridget went straight back on Friday.
I went on Friday, which everyone asked me why you're here. But I thought of Friday is a bit of a non-day. Like, no one really
nobody ever
does
gets
much.
work done on Friday.
Yeah. But it was terrible.
Yeah, and coming back to that kind of normal routine is really kind of, I don't know, it brings you down a bit.
Yeah, like we'd been in Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland. Disneyland was pretty cool.
And our epic run to the airport.
Oh god, that was insane.
That was adrenaline.
Felt for sure we were going to miss our train and then subsequently our plane.
Yep.
But anyway, Rachel, you were overseas for a long time. You went to Norway for 3 months, was it?
Yeah.
So how
I'm
was
looking
it
all
coming-
deer in the headlights over here. I didn't know you were going to start talking to me. You guys were just talking about Disneyland. And...
Well, you're here, aren't you?
I'm here, yeah.
How was coming back after Norway?
It was definitely an adjustment because, I mean, on the one hand, I'd also been away for a long time, and that means that you get very settled where you are. So coming back, it can be different again. But I came back around Christmas. So I think if I'd spent Christmas in Norway, I would have been much more depressed
Yeah.
than I was coming back, because I came back at holiday season. I mean, if I'd come back and it's like, okay, back to work, but I'm like,
Yeah.
but I mean, I was in Norway for a long time, and I would have loved to have stayed there longer, and especially to have travelled around Europe a little more. But at the same time, it's like
Norway was expensive too.
it was expensive,
Also,
and
you tend to get like 3 hours of sunlight or something during the winter.
And the further north you go, the more the sunlight hours decrease. And I was there in the winter, and I loved playing in the snow. I would have loved to have done more snow-related things, but it wasn't like I was hanging out at Disneyland and doing touristy things. I was there to study. So yeah,
Yeah.
had to come back. But yeah, I came back at around, came back for summer, came back for holidays, and in fact, I got back the day before Christmas Eve.
Christmas
So
Eve,
I
Eve,
really-
as it were.
Exactly. So I was really straight into sort of parties and food and
all the
good
goodness.
stuff.
Yeah, friends and family. So it wasn't really just back to work and back to the old routine.
That's good.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you lived in England for a while too, Bridget.
Yeah.
Was it fun to come back, or?
It was not that fun to come back, but I didn't come back to a job. I decided not to approach my old employers, so I was unemployed for a little bit, but it was okay because I was just on the beach at Cronulla thinking, this isn't too bad. There's clear blue sky.
You came back at around...
I came back in
summer as well,
February.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently you guys hadn't had much of a summer. And when I came back, it was pretty
Brought the
good
sunshine?
to me. Yeah.
We actually, this summer was a bit rainy.
This summer and last summer were a bit, a little bit of a disappointment. Yeah.
Which is
Summer
weird.
before that
because
was like
this
50 degree
winter,
weather.
like this winter, for the past couple of days, has been not winter. It's been up to 18
It has
degrees.
been winter in the morning to me.
It's
But
always
like
winter
during
to
the
me.
day, it's like 18 degrees and
Yeah.
sunny and clear and not like a cloud in the sky.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm still cold at like 24 degrees. So
I
You
do,
have
I do
some
love
sort
my
of-
jumpers.
I
I've
don't
got
know.
some sort of issue, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like it when it's like 30, 35 degrees outside. That's my ideal weather.
I am a fan of that sort of weather myself. I remember when I was in school and I was wearing a jumper with my summer uniform,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
one
me
of the
too.
teachers stopped me and made me take my jumper off because, quote, it was too hot.
You're like, I'm not hot.
Isn't that just... Yeah. I couldn't believe that. Freedom, man. Anyway, back into the music. This is Imagine Dragons on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever. So keeping in the travel theme, we'll be talking about photography. So I took a lot of photos, like over 2,000.
A lot.
When we were overseas, I had this awesome camera I borrowed from my brother. Thank
It
you
was
very much, Adrian.
gigantic.
It was massive and gave me permanent neck problems. But it took some awesome photos.
It did. It was
I
a good
took
camera.
Over 70 photos of monkeys, just of monkeys.
She looked like a
And
news
monkeys.
reporter, by the way.
The monkeys were awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so photography's changed a lot in our lifetime. Because I remember when I was a kid and I used to go on school excursions and take that little disposable camera with me with the 24 photos on it. And you'd have to be careful of what you took photos of.
Yeah,
I
and
don't wanna
people's
waste my photos.
heads were always cut off.
Oh yeah, and you'd always have that finger in your shot.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't see actually through the viewfinder.
And you couldn't take 1,000 photos of random stuff.
Yeah.
You couldn't be like, oh wow, that pole, that looks really interesting. I'm going to take a photo of that pole. I'm going to remember that pole. And then you have it later on your computer and you're like, yeah, I took a photo of that pole. But if you had a disposable camera,
Yep.
you wouldn't look at that pole and give it a second's thought. You would look at the people you're with and you would want to remember them. But now we just take thousands and thousands of photos
Oh, monkeys.
of them, yeah. And other stuff.
Or just of the same thing as well.
Because we can look at our photo now and think, oh, I didn't really like that one, I'm going to delete it.
Yeah.
As soon as you take the photo, basically, you look at it, you think, oh, okay, it's not very nice, I'll take another one. Or, oh, that one was great, I'll take a couple more of that thing.
I'm going to get it from a different angle.
Exactly.
And from another angle. And then I'm going to zoom in. Take it from a different angle.
Yep, that was me zooming in on everything once I found the zoom.
I had
I remember
3
going-
photos of everything.
I remember when my brother brought back his pictures from his trip to New York, and there were pictures of his feet, and then
Yeah.
pictures from Washington where he's like, you could see every 5 meters he'd taken another picture going up to the Washington Monument, and eventually there's his hand on the Washington Monument, and then his feet in front of the Washington Monument again. I'm like, Kieran, why? You're not in any... I mean, your feet and your hand are in these photos. Why didn't you just ask someone to take a photo of you?
That's the thing, Bridget and Karen like to be in photos, like, in front of these different landmarks and stuff.
Yep.
Unless
I
there's a
didn't really
bear
want to
in the
be
photo.
in my own photos. I'm content to just take a photo of whatever that is. I don't really want to be in the photo.
We
So,
did
yeah.
offer to take...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't care that I wasn't in them.
Yeah.
I got a lot of photos that I'm very happy with, so... But,
Fair enough.
yeah, there's that as well, but a lot of people will say the old photos look nicer. Like, film photos look nicer once they're printed and everything like that.
Yeah.
Than digital
And
photos.
really, they are, to a certain extent, like, there were the years with digital cameras were just new, and the photos that they took were horrible. Like, you looked all blotchy and you couldn't enlarge it because it would just be pixelated and stuff.
Yeah, it's go blurry.
I think that's probably the main benefit of film is that you can enlarge it.
Yeah, and it still has the same quality, enlarged or small or whatever.
Yeah. But
Whereas digital photography, you can probably edit things a little more yourself on your camera the second you take it, but you're still limited by pixels.
Yeah.
you are. You can do some cool effects though.
Yeah, all the different filters you can put on and all the different, like, you can add captions or speech bubbles or,
Yeah.
get rid of red eye, which is a major problem in old photos. Everybody has red eye.
Everyone looks really evil.
Zombified.
I look like Goldilocks demonized in one photo.
That was one of our ones from Queensland.
It was from a while ago, but it stuck with me.
Yeah, I think I had a disposable camera then when we went to Queensland. I'm pretty
Did
sure
we?
I did. Yeah.
I don't know what I had.
That was year 10? No, year 9. Year 10. Year 10. Anyway.
Yep.
So it wasn't all that long ago that we still had disposable cameras and, digital photography was pretty new.
Yeah.
But I heard someone say that digital photography makes everyone into a professional photographer. So it doesn't really matter what kind of camera you have anymore.
It's
Or
true.
everyone thinks they're a professional photographer.
Probably if you handed someone who uses a lot of digital cameras an old school SLR where they have to load the film themselves, set all their apertures and shutter speeds.
A lot of people wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use those knobs on the end of the lens.
Then there's another thing, the storage of photos.
Yeah.
Basically, your photos, to me, they don't exist really until you've printed them. Like they're just floating on your
Yeah.
hard drive.
Yeah, well, I think when I think about sort of all of the photos that exist of relatives, as in old deceased relatives, because my mother did a lot of family history, and so she's got all these photos
Yeah.
of, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. The thing is, in 100 years' time, there's going to be some poor, pathetic descendant of mine, probably a descendant of my brothers or sisters, let's be honest. They're going to be the ones who aren't in prison. So they're going to look back and go, oh, where are the photos of my, great-grandmother? And they're just going to be looking at a CD going, what does it do?
Yeah.
We've moved way past
Wow,
CDs
she
now.
was so shiny and round. What's that hole doing?
I still know what CDs were, though. I want to have my photos printed, though. I want to put them in an album and be able to, look at them and not just have to turn my computer on and flick through and be like, oh, yep, there's, 20 photos of monkeys.
But then when you do go to print them, are you going to print the 70 photos of monkeys?
No, I won't print them all. Only the nice ones.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm
Maybe-
sure all 70 of those are gold.
Oh, no, they're all beautiful. But I'll just print the extra beautiful ones because, let's face it, I'm a professional photographer. So, yeah. Well, my brother's camera made me look like one.
Because only a professional photographer could possibly be bothered hauling that thing around.
Oh my god.
That thing could have hurt someone.
It was horrible.
It was hilarious.
Really bad neck pain. I had to
Apparently
use
it did hurt
ice.
someone.
When we got to the last
She had to
hotel,
go to the ice machine.
I had to get ice because my shoulder hurt that much. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
bad.
That might have also had something to do with the bags.
Well, I carried the bag on the other side because that side hurt so much from the camera.
Oh, God. Also, people take photos of their food, but
Oh,
I question whether I do this as well. But I didn't choose to print my photos of the food because I was like, I really don't need that photo of the fried rice.
Yeah.
And who else is going to look at that?
Yeah,
Well, I kind of like. Well, I like to print. I would print some photos of my food, just the ones that look, the food that looks especially different.
oh, like the bonsai tree dessert
Yeah.
at the Ninja restaurant. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
That can be printed. Another bowl of fried rice doesn't need to be printed.
Something that demonstrates the culture
Yeah.
should be printed.
Oh, I kind
Yeah,
of want to
I
print
guess.
that French toast picture though, the one that makes it look like meat.
I think I printed one of them because I had a few.
No,
Yeah, that's got to be documented for the generations.
I did take a few photos of food. Not that many though. I don't think I had as many as you or Karen did.
I had a lot of photos of me drinking,
Yes.
not alcohol.
Even I have a lot of one photo of me drinking something that Karen took while she was holding my camera. But
Yeah, as soon as you gave the camera to her, she just takes photos. So
yes, of weird stuff and herself making weird faces and stuff.
that was hilarious.
You see, I really want to start taking photos with film again because you can
Yeah.
still buy film.
Yeah.
And I do have a couple of really old cameras that still use film, so I want to give them a go and see how they hold up. So
I wonder where you get them printed now, though.
you can still print them.
You used to have to go to a chemist.
Yeah.
I don't know, do the chemists still do it?
I don't think the one in
there's a
Panania does anymore.
photography place in Revesby.
Oh, like a photo frame.
Yeah,
photo
the
shop,
one just down from the post office.
which has been
They
there for like a
sell
million
the
years.
yeah. They sell the film, so I assume they can develop it as well.
Well,
If not, we're all going to have to break out our photography knowledge.
Or break into a school.
We
to
all
remember
did photography
how to
in
do
high
that, yeah.
school, but we only know how to print in black and white. So there you go.
Yes.
All our photos will look artistic.
And we don't have
And
a dark
deep.
room, but I'm sure we can MacGyver something.
Well, there's a red light in here. We can use the red light and turn the other lights on.
Is that going to light
There's
the
a
room?
red light.
Yeah, we did a red light in the photography room, remember? That was the only
Yeah.
film that wouldn't expose our
Okay, so if
Paper,
anybody
paper.
knows any buildings with a red light,
red
is
light.
that what you want to go for?
Oh, God, the red light
To
district in
develop photos?
Kyoto is not good.
No, it really wasn't good. Okay,
Maybe there actually is some sort of like underground photography culture. And they're
hipsters.
just called the
They're
red
called-
light district.
They're called photography hipsters that'll only use film in their cameras.
Bloody hipsters.
And if their pictures are blurry, it's because they wanted it that way because
Yeah,
it's artistic.
It's deep.
artistic, yep.
Yeah.
All those
Only
blurry
mainstream people take in-focus photos.
pictures. Yep. Don't want to be mainstream. All my photos are blurry. Some of them of the monkeys are blurry. Very artistic. Artistic monkeys. Yep.
How many of the 70 do you reckon are blurry?
15,
Percentage-wise.
16, blurry.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got to the point where I kind of wasn't looking anymore. I would just be like, click, click, click. So, yeah. It wasn't as bad as, like, I wasn't even putting my eye to the viewfinder. It was just like, you know, oh, look, monkey, 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 monkey. And I took, like, 10 of these two little monkeys playing and, like, another 10 of this one baby monkey, which was really, really cute.
Yes.
I'll post them on Zombie Fever page. Eventually.
Just a couple. Pace yourself.
70. All of them.
Okay.
Monkey.
We'll be back. I've posted a poll up on Wednesday Night Zombie Fever. This is a segment that I started last week because I needed something to talk about last week. Anyway, fake news story segment. Guys, I want you to vote on which one of these three you think is the fake news story. Number one, a neuroscientist is planning to transplant human heads. We all heard that. Number two, a koala held by
did?
Prince Charles has been kidnapped. And number three, a Queensland man has used Twitter to conduct drug deals. Vote on the Wednesday Night Zombie Fever Facebook page and we will be back.
Why would you be dumb enough to use Twitter?
Why would you be dumb enough to do any of those things?
Steal
Anyway,
the koala.
two
Real
people
or not, that
are.
was dumb.
Two of those are actually legit. We'll be back after this on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Zombie Fever on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Yep.
So-
First an update from our Facebook poll. I have seen Good News Week, and I know that they did have a segment like this. The same thing with 3 stories, but only one of them was true, and you had to pick the 2 that were fake. But yeah, for this, you do only need to pick the one that is the fake news story. The other 2 are actually true. That's what makes this
Not in Good News Week.
absolutely,
Completely
really
original.
weird news week. 2 of those stories are true. Just to refresh for anyone who didn't catch them before, you have to choose which one of these is the fake news story. A neuroscientist who says he can transplant human heads, a koala that was once held by Prince Charles has been kidnapped, and a Queensland man has used Twitter to conduct drug deals. So let me know which one of those you think is fake. And sadly, 2 of those are true.
Well, we're getting back to our topic. Well, we just came back from holidays, and Rachel and I work in retail. And
Yeah.
it's hard to deal with angry customers when you've just had an awesome holiday. So we just thought we'd rant a little bit about returns and refunds. Not
Yeah.
really a rant, more of a informative.
Yeah.
Informative
Yes.
discussion.
We would like to inform the people on their rights. We're going to tell you what they are. So you don't come and tell us when you want your money back and you can't get it.
One of the things I hate is when people are like, can I have my money back? No, because once you hand it to me, it is no longer your money. It is the store's money. You cannot have it back.
Well, you basically, I suggested this topic because on Thursday, Thursday, it was Tuesday. What am I saying? It was only yesterday. That's why I'm so mad at this already. I've lost all sense of days of the week, guys. But a woman came into the store and said, I tried these shoes on in your store, but when I wore them at home, they pinched my toes. Can you I want a refund. Not can you give me a refund, it's give me a refund. I said, no, we can only refund if they're faulty or if they don't match the description.
Because your store doesn't have a refund policy, right?
No, we can refund if they're faulty or anything.
No, it doesn't have like one of those, if you are not happy 7 days, you can return it, blah, blah, blah.
No.
Yeah.
We can exchange for something else if there's something wrong with something wrong with the size or anything, or we can issue a credit note. And you can use that at any of the brand's stores for up to a year. So it's actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, this woman said, no, the government says you need to give me a refund. And I really hope the indignant tone is coming across for everyone listening at home, because the attitude of this woman was ridiculous. And we're trying to be polite, explaining our policy, which is completely legal, and it's pretty standard, I'd say. So, handed her on to the manager and then trying to get to another manager, and eventually we just gave her the refund to get her out of the store.
See, people like that, I don't think they should get what they want, because they're wrong, and then they'll just keep doing it.
Oh, she had her card out ready to get a refund back on her card so quickly. She obviously had done that plenty of times before.
But the people, they do it all the time. I had this one lady who came into our store. She bought something. Okay, this thing she bought, it has a year warranty, right? So if it's faulty, however, it only is...
Electronics is what we're talking about here,
it only has 30 days in our store. So the rest of the warranty is with the actual manufacturer. Yeah. So she came back into our store, I think it was 2 months later, after actually bringing back 2 of the accessories that came with this product, because her brother had dropped the actual product on these accessories. So she tried to claim that they were faulty and that they had just broken.
Yeah.
But the kid came and he's like, oh, no, I dropped that on it. Anyway, so we're like, no, it's not working, but I cannot give you a new one in the store. You have to go through the manufacturer. She wasn't happy with that. So we're like, just call the manufacturer. They'll be able to help you out. You won't have to pay anything. You just call them. They'll be able to help you. They'll fix your item. That's it. No. You have to give me a new one. That's what the government says. You have to give me a new one. It has a year warranty. I don't understand why
people playing the government card.
I don't understand why the warranty is with a third party. We're not it's not with a third party.
Surely,
it's with the manufacturer.
Aren't you guys the third party?
Exactly. Just no. I should have to only deal with you. I only have to deal with you. That's what you said to us. I'm like, no. Your warranty is with the manufacturer. So this lady, we called the manufacturer for her. We were talking to them. She grabs the phone off us, starts talking to them, and then she walks out of our store in a huff. She comes back 10 minutes later, having printed out our terms and conditions on policies of refunds and things like that. She comes to us and she's like, what does this paragraph say? We're like, yes, that is for second-hand products. You bought a brand new one. So for second-hand products, we do give this, we'll give you a new one. And she's like, oh, but what does it say here? That's where it says your warranty is with the manufacturer.
And this is the part where it says you're wrong in giant capital red letters.
And she's like, oh, what about this part? That's about accessories. And then she just, got up and walked out. Like, these people are absolutely convinced that they are right.
Yeah.
And they're not.
They seem to have the customer's always right mentality, and customers can be idiots sometimes. So this is our question. How do you feel about refunds? So we're not talking about exchanges or credit notes. We're cool with that.
And we're not talking about faulty products either.
Yeah,
if it's faulty product, actually, if it's a faulty product and it's over the return period, I think it's your own fault. Because our return period at the moment in the shop I work at is 7 days, 14 days on second-hand items, right? If your product breaks or does not work from the day you bought it, then you should come in within that time period. If you keep it for 2 months, there's nothing I can do for you. If you bought it broken, there's still nothing I can do for you, because I don't know that you didn't break it in those 2 months.
Yeah,
so you have to be punctual with these things as well.
Which makes sense, because otherwise you can say, well, why didn't you bring it back within a time frame? Because usually if something breaks, you know when you bought it. You know that you can't just bring it back whenever you feel like getting it back. But yeah, we're specifically talking about refunds for things mostly that you just don't want anymore.
Yeah. I've never done it. I've never gone into a store and said, look, I don't want this anymore. I wanted it when I bought it, but I never used it and I don't want it now. I've never done that.
I've done it.
Yeah.
And gotten your money back.
Yep.
Well, I don't like that term, your money back.
Oh, you're right.
But yes.
It was my money.
But do you feel like, I know I said this off air as well, but do you feel like you're entitled to that refund just because you didn't want it anymore?
Honestly, I was going to let it go. My mum was the one who went to the store and demanded the money. I was happy to get my money.
I just feel like this woman who came in on Tuesday, she said, I wouldn't have bought them if I didn't know that I couldn't refund. I think you shouldn't buy something thinking, well, I can just get a refund.
Yeah.
Because once you've handed over the money, you're right, it's the store's money.
Yeah. You're not really entitled to that money back. I mean, at the moment, the store I work in, we do have a 7-day return policy on things you didn't like. So if you buy something and within 7 days you say, oh, it was really bad or I really didn't like it, you can come back in and return it for a full refund, which I don't think is right because then we have to sell that product again as brand new and it's not really fair to the person who buys it after. But that's our policy, so we have to honour that, which is fair enough. But if you come in 2 weeks later and say, well, 3 weeks later and say, look, I didn't like it, I want a refund. No, we can't do that for you. Yeah, it's just how it is. And people are like, no, I want my money back.
Yeah, because I agree. I don't like it when people either assume they can get a refund or, just get a refund because they simply don't like it. Because can you imagine if everybody did that?
Yeah.
Sounds like everybody does.
But a lot of people do. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But I think...
But economically, because obviously when you're cashing up, for the store and you're calculating all of your income and things, so you have to pay your staff and everything, and obviously that happens over time, but you need to know how much you've made if you've covered your costs. But can you imagine if then you didn't know, and because everybody could come in and just ask for their money back?
Yeah. Well, it takes it out of your end of day, obviously your sales that you made at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which is, it's unfortunate because, you're meant to have, you're supposed to make a specific target. And with my company in particular, they're very target focused. So if you don't make your targets, people get investigated. So, I didn't make however much money I was supposed to make today. Why not? Let's look into that. What were they actually doing? And
that investigation is done by people who aren't in the store dealing with these.
Exactly. But you think of
people who are trying to say, oh, but the government says, and head office always says, oh no, the policy is you do not give refunds.
But
just tell them that we do not give refunds. And the thing is, you think that we didn't tell them that we can't give them a refund? We told them this woman would not leave the store.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not sure about... Okay, I'm just going to read out something that I've got sent.
Okay.
From the ACCC. Okay. It is against the law for businesses to tell you to tell you or show signs stating that they do not give refunds under any circumstances, including for gifts and during sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not that we don't give refunds under any circumstances. We give refunds if...
Under certain circumstances.
Yeah. If they are faulty, and this is under New South Wales, I think it's the Trade Practices Act?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Where it says that a store has to issue a refund if something is A, faulty, B, does not match description, which if you've seen it in the store, you can't argue that one. And the other one is unsuitable for purpose, which I imagine would be very hard to argue if you've tried something on in the store or if you've seen it in the store. And
also, I had a guy quote misinformation at me once, which I didn't give him the wrong information. He just decided that was a convenient thing to say to get money back. But I think the people who come in and demand refunds and things like that, they don't really think about the person who's behind the counter. Because I didn't. Before I worked in retail, you don't really think about those people as, being normal everyday people. It's like when you're a kid, you don't think about your teacher as being a normal person, you know what I mean? You don't really think about that person or their life or what they're going through. And it's like once you're on the other side of
and
that
you don't
counter,
think about the company either.
Well, I don't... Yeah.
I mean...
I think the company takes second seat to the person, though. Because I get a lot of... Okay, I don't work in an important industry. I don't even work in a store that people need the stuff that they're buying. Seriously, stuff I sell is 100% for leisure. But I still get people calling up and abusing me because they cannot get something. Because we're sold out or you know,
That happened
the
to me
manufacturer
once.
didn't make enough or whatever. I still get people screaming at me hysterically on the phone or in the store because they could not get a toy that they wanted for their kid. And I'm like,
Yeah.
calm down, you know.
There
And
was
just,
one.
people don't think about the person who they're talking to.
There was one product that no stores in Australia had in stock in specifically what this woman wanted. And I said, we cannot get it for you. You stop calling. And apparently she'd called everyone in the store. It was insane. But yeah, like, even our sale items, you can still get those refunded if they're faulty.
Yeah.
So we can't say, well, no, we can't refund that even though it's faulty because it was a sale item. So regardless of, whether it's a sale item or things, the refund policy is the same.
Yeah, ours is the same as well on sale items and stuff. But let's go into our next lot of song.
Yeah, let us know on Facebook what you think of the refund wars and which side you're on, whether you're on the retailers or the consumers' side.
Customer is not always right, just saying. Sometimes the customer's an idiot.
No. This is Bulletproof Heart by My Chemical Romance on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Listening to Steph, Rachel and Bridget. So let's continue. I'll talk about crazy people, because
Yeah.
people are crazy. And some crazy people go on crazy, crazy diets.
They do.
There are many, many crazy
Smooth.
diets.
Like no carbs.
Yes, that is a really bad one. And a lot of people go on that because you lose weight really quickly. But it's really, really bad for you. Like,
Yeah, particularly if you want to do this long term. If you want to say, okay, let's try go a week without carbs, you're probably going to lose weight, you're probably going to be fine, but you're going to have to get yourself to a burger real quick.
Yeah, see, with the no-carb diet, people don't understand that you need carbs. Carbs are, like, basically fuel for your body. When you don't have carbs in your system, your body doesn't burn fat, it burns muscle. So it's not good for you. You'll lose weight, but you're losing more lean muscle than you are actually fat. So, it's really not good for you. It's also bad for, your brain, it's bad for your kidneys, it's bad for basically all your internal organs.
Yeah.
So
A lot of people on this no-carb diet are sort of cutting out bread, rice, pasta,
Everything,
potato.
All the good stuff.
oh, yes.
But they can show some discretion, like they'll have brown rice or sweet potato. That's cheating, guys. Don't...
Actually, sweet potato is pretty good for you because it's low GI. But you can eat sweet potatoes. Sweet potato's good.
But still, it's sort of a bizarre diet. There's better ways to cut out fatty foods.
I think that diet became famous because it was the Atkins diet, and it was really massive at
Was
one
that
point.
the Atkins diet?
I'm pretty sure it was a no carb, like high protein kind of.
How could they get away with that? That was massive in America.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge here, and I know a couple of people who went on no carb diets and stuff, and it's really not.
It would be so much work. And how do you cut out bread? I mean, bread isn't bad for you. White bread.
White bread is.
I said earlier, a gunshot to the head is bad for you. White bread is not bad for you.
That could probably be said for a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
White bread is not as good for you as like wheat bread or brown bread or multigrain or whatever it is. But it's not
compare that to like
particularly
something
bad.
that's really deep fried
Oh no,
and
you can't
smothered in
put that.
oils. It's just bread. There's not much to it.
Yeah. You shouldn't eat carbs after a certain time at night though, because that's when you pack on weight, and it's not good for you.
And that's specifically about weight loss. Are there any other sort of benefits or negatives to carbs? Like, I had somebody say that they stopped eating carbs and their acne cleared up. This was on a blog full of crazy people, so I think that's a good indication of the science behind that claim.
That
I
was
know that
never
eating-
suggested to me when I had acne.
Eating better can clear up acne a little bit, but acne has more to do with hormones than it does to do with diet.
See, that's
Than
what I
really
think. Because
skin.
people have said, oh, these foods,
Yeah.
are
it
worse
depends
for acne,
on-
these foods are better. But I don't think it really makes that much of a difference.
Well, it depends on if your skin is really, really oily, because that can trap like dirt and stuff, and that can give you acne, like worse than you already have it. But acne is mostly a hormonal thing, so it's not.
It's mostly
really
about the
gonna
level of
change.
testosterone, right?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure because I'm not a doctor. But
Oh, God.
but there are some other like,
Illusion
really,
shattered.
really, really crazy diets out there. Like people will go on the soup diet where they're only allowed to drink soup, or the straw diet. Like if it doesn't fit through a straw, you're not allowed to eat it.
The baby food diet.
Yeah.
That's actually a thing when people eat baby food.
That's ridiculous.
There are some really crazy ones. I've never been on a diet. I have been healthy though once in my life. For a couple of years I was pretty healthy.
Well, I think
Not so much anymore.
There were sometimes that I obviously haven't been so healthy, but once I did try to go vegetarian for a week in the interests of being healthy.
Well,
And
vegetarians-
actually no, the first time I did, I failed. I had chicken pretty quickly. But the second time I actually did it. And
Did you feel any healthier?
I felt hungrier.
Well, vegetarians
A
actually
lot.
have a really good diet, and I think so do vegans. Because I think that's more about, rather than what you're eating, they do eat a lot of fruit and vegetables and stuff like that, which is good for you. But I think it's more about thinking about everything you eat. Because, you know, if we can just go to McDonald's and say, oh, I want a burger and I want that, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
You don't really have to think about your food. But people who have, like, diet restrictions, like vegetarians, or people who can't eat gluten and stuff
Or
like that.
allergies and stuff.
Yeah, allergies. They really have to think about all the food they eat. And I think that's why they tend to be a little bit healthier than the rest of us slobs.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to look at the kilojoules at KFC and go, oh my god, that's the average daily intake in one burger.
Can I have it?
I will take that and that.
That's my way of thinking.
But yeah, I was healthy once. I was working out 4 days a week and, you know, eating... Well, once you start working out that much, you feel good. So then when you eat junk food, you don't feel good anymore. So you don't want to eat junk food. Which I ended up being pretty healthy for those 2 or 3 years, and then I stopped training that much and started eating junk again. So I'm not anymore. But that wasn't a diet. I never actually went on a diet because I didn't really need to. And I don't think a lot of people really need to if you're, you know, putting in the effort to just not eat McDonald's every day.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Most foods, portion is more important than what you're eating.
Yeah,
Definitely helps.
it does help. Like, because especially in, like, if you go to a restaurant and you get something that, like a meal that costs like $15, you expect there to be
A decent size.
a decent sized meal. So
Yeah.
you're not hungry after you finish eating. But the portion that you're meant to eat per meal is roughly the size of your fist.
That's like your stomach.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how much you're not meant to be eating really more than that.
I eat like 3 times that.
Yeah, well, I think almost everybody does. We eat big portions now because that's what we see as like normally what you're supposed to eat or what we're used to eating. But we're meant to have lots of little meals throughout the day
Yeah.
of no bigger than your fist size. Which I don't think anybody except for like health nuts and bodybuilders actually does.
Who eat nuts. Well, we have had some feedback on this on Facebook.
Already?
Linda has said that the low-carb diet doesn't so much eat muscle if you eat high protein. So you've got to balance it out
Yeah, but
with a lot of protein and a lot of other foods to sort of make up for that
That's
lack
true.
of energy that you're missing out on from
Yeah.
carbs.
It is true, but it's still not good for you. Even if you are eating high protein, it's still not good for your body.
Depending on what you're eating. Yeah, and some feedback on our returns and refunds. So one person has said that her mother bought a dress that it didn't quite fit, and yeah, she should be able to get her money back. We
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. So I want to be clear with everyone: we're not against exchanges.
No.
And we're not against
If
refunds
you want to come
if
back
it's
and bring your dress
not
in,
what you want,
and it's because it's
Like-
not size, and you're just like, I just want a bigger size or a smaller size, fine, do it. We'll give you another one. I'm happy to do that.
yeah, because that's reasonable. But we're talking specifically demanding money back just because you changed your mind.
Yes. Which has really
Another
nothing to do with the topic we're talking about now, which is healthy.
Well, another listener on Facebook has said that customers should ask regarding refund and exchange policy or read the signs at front counters before they actually buy things.
Yep. 100% true. But yeah, so well, ask you guys on Facebook. Do you have any crazy diets that you've heard of?
Yeah.
Um,
Anything that you've been on or just anything that you've heard other people go on or that you've heard of in the media?
I think
Yeah.
a lady at my old work was doing the no carbs thing. I'm not sure. She just got chicken every day for lunch.
Yeah, well, I know this is bodybuilder diet because a guy I used to work with used to be a bodybuilder, and every day for lunch he'd have the same thing, which is just chicken and rice.
Yep.
And it was the same kind of chicken and rice, cooked the exact same way. And they were talking to him at work, and he had the same food every day, and he'd be eating the same way for years.
Yep.
And I think it's really, really boring, and I don't think I could do it.
I have chicken for lunch almost every day at work, but that's not because of the diet thing.
No,
It's just easy.
I like chicken and it's cheap.
But I mean, to eat the same thing every day for every meal. Well, no, he didn't eat chicken and rice for every meal, but you know what I mean. Every meal
Was the same.
Same.
Same breakfast, same lunch, same dinner.
Exactly. I don't think I could do it. But there's some people that are really dedicated to fitness that'll.
Yeah, I just don't think I'm that dedicated.
No, I'm really not.
I eat what I want.
Yeah.
I probably
Fast and
shouldn't.
Superman on the
And you know, you can eat what you want and still not put on weight if you're willing to do the exercise to burn off what you eat.
yeah.
I mean, if you're willing to work out constantly to burn off those 5 Big Macs you've eaten in one day, then, you know, you can eat those 5 Big Macs.
We've gotten really serious this show. Do you realize that we haven't spoken about movies and TV shows so far?
Oh my god, I watched this.
We're
awful
losing
TV
our
show.
key demographics.
We should have
What?
talked about Japan TV. Oh my god.
Okay, well, we'll be back
Don't
to...
send me into a coughing fit.
We'll be back to maybe mention some movies or TVs, and we will be...
TVs.
We'll talk about some TVs, why not? Can you return your TVs? There you go, we
So
sort of
TVs are
did.
really good TVs.
And I will be revealing the answer to which of those which of those news stories was the fake. So to remind everyone, if you want to jump on Facebook and have a vote, there's Koala, which was once held by Prince Charles, kidnapped. A Queensland man who used Twitter to conduct drug deals, and a neuroscientist who wants to transplant human heads. So far, the frontrunner is the koala held by Prince Charles.
Poor koala.
And coming in second, Queensland man used Twitter to conduct drug deals. So far, no one thinks that the neuroscientist wanting to transplant heads is a fake.
Really?
People have that little faith in humanity. Anyway,
That
I'll come
sounds
back.
the most fake.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the red herring of the... Yeah. Well, we'll be back to reveal the answer shortly after a song that we haven't played in a while. This is Danger Zone
Yay.
on TVACR 100.9 FM.
Well, that's really all we've got time for. But I did want to mention Japanese TV, because Rachel said we didn't talk about movies.
It is so
and TVs at all.
insane.
It is the funniest
People have
thing.
expected us to talk about films and TV, and today we didn't get time to do a movie review, so go for it.
Well, Japanese TV is the funniest thing in the world. The
Yep.
ads themselves are hilarious. And I just remember watching this one show where there was this fully grown man dressed up as a baby crying
Yeah, that
while
got
another guy
really-
changed his nappy.
Really disturbing. It had like a blurred section around his privates.
So what, was it
Yeah.
like a reality show?
I don't know what it was.
We don't know
couldn't
what
tell.
was going on.
We couldn't tell, but it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. But also, there was this really funny ad. It was a tyre ad where all the people were just holding tyres and singing and dancing, and it was just hilarious.
Yes.
Oh,
And
so
there was
funny.
another one where they turned into like white blobs or something.
Yeah, that was weird. They touched this white blob that came through the door, and then they all turned into white blobs. The lady's like,
Yeah. And then they all just sat there and blinked at them, and the blinks were really loud.
yeah, we don't know what that was about either.
No.
It's really hard to figure out what some of these ads were about, and especially what the shows were about.
Yes.
Because a lot of shows seem to be about food.
A lot of food shows.
Yeah.
Cooking and trying different foods.
Like, there was this one that I'm pretty sure was about this guy going to, you know, those people who hand out menus in the street and, like, come to our restaurant, those kind of people?
Oh, yeah.
Going to the first one of those he saw, and then having dinner or lunch or whatever at that restaurant. What had this guy dressed up as a, what was he dressed up as?
Beer?
Yeah, it was a massive beer or something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why is there a beer?
Wait, like
why?
a beer can? Or are
Like
you
a
guys
can.
just mispronouncing bear?
No, a can,
Beer.
like a can of beer. And I'm
drink.
watching this thing and I'm like, why is there a beer can sitting there? Why? What's going on? It was, yeah, the most hilarious TV in the world.
Sometimes you can tell when the ads ended and the show
Yeah.
started.
Like, you just couldn't tell what was ads and what was TV. We did watch this movie that we couldn't understand as
It ended
well.
very badly.
I'm not sure if it was a movie or like a serial or something, but it was, a lot of people died and it didn't seem to end properly.
I bet it was like some sort of Japanese Les Mis.
And the main guy looked more Indian than Japanese.
Yeah. It was very odd. We don't know what happened in the end, but I think he might have been remorseful, and then they just left. He was the bad guy.
I think they rode off into the
Ethnic
sunset.
Ethnic diversity is so odd.
Over there it
Over
is.
There it really is.
Well, I'm going to reveal the answer. I asked you, the people. I'm back to you, the people, now as well. For the fake news story, we had koala that was once held by Prince Charles being kidnapped. a man in Queensland who had used Twitter to conduct drug deals, and a neuroscientist who claims he can transplant human heads. The one of those that was fake was in fact the Queensland man using Twitter to conduct drug deals. He actually used Facebook.
Oh.
Wow.
Still, why would you be dumb enough to use Facebook?
Yeah.
To try and deal
why would
drugs?
the koala that was held by Prince Charles back in 2012 was kidnapped from an Adelaide zoo, and a neuroscientist is claiming that he is able to, not now but one day, transplant entire heads.
I don't see why not.
I
It's
don't-
like extreme plastic surgery. I want to look like this person. Well, you can have their head. It's very Futurama.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yes.
Like, you can have their head. Is there some sort of a thing they'd have to sign to give you their head, or?
I don't know, you probably have to donate your body to head transplants or something.
Do you reckon they can only
Donate
do
your body
like
to
live
science.
head to live head? You'd actually have to switch with someone.
Well, maybe you could put it in a jar like Futurama and just pickle it.
I don't want to pick
This show has taken a disturbing turn.
really massive.
It's funny because the last song that we always play is Monster Mash. What's coming up next week, Steph?
I don't even know. We will do a movie review next week.
It's a surprise.
When we will be discussing
I think we
reality
should try to
TV.
review
Ooh.
Man of Steel. Because we were just discussing Man of Steel and other reviews. So, yeah, I think I'll probably be seeing Man of Steel this week sometime. So I'm maybe going to review Man of Steel for everyone next week.
Unless Bridget has another idea, what would you...
Well, possibly the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Reality TV. We'll be talking about reality TV.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do both.
All right.
We can do both.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's do a whole show about movie reviews.
I did 2 movie
Oh,
reviews
God.
last week. You would know if you listened.
We couldn't. We're on a plane.
Yeah, we actually
That's your
did.
excuse for everything.
We were like,
We're on a
oh, we'll
plane.
listen. And then we realised we were going to be on the plane at 8:30.
Yep. 8:30. Anyway.
So
let's-
reality TV shows next week.
Yes, indeed. Let's do that.
Yep. So let us know on Facebook what reality TV shows you like, what style of reality TV shows you like, whether you prefer competition reality shows
Or
or
like
those,
Jersey Shore or
Yeah.
The Kardashians.
or Deadliest Catch.
Yeah,
Or
or
Doomsday
Storage
Preppers.
Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. Antiques Roadshow.
I love Antique Roadshow.
Yeah.
I don't classify that really as a
That's not really reality TV, is it?
well, not really. Kind of. It's informative and it's awesome.
Okay, well, we're obviously going to have to set some boundaries for next week.
All right.
So we will let you know on Facebook. As always, keep your requests coming in. On Monday, you can catch me again from 7 to 9 for the morning program, and on Tuesday. And we'll be back next week from 9 on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Good night.